All right, man. Look, we ain't gonna waste no time. We're about to get straight into this. Let me plug the joint though. Why men with game don't worry about hypergamy. Why men with game don't worry about hypergamy. We just gonna get right off into this. So I'm gonna read you a couple of things and then I'm gonna get into this slideshow. Right now, what made me want to do this joint is a recent Facebook post I came across where a guy was saying that hypergamy is female greed, and the reason why your girlfriend hasn't left you yet is because she hasn't found a man that's better than you. That's basically what it was. Basically talking about hypergamy. Basically, the guy was trying to insinuate that it's inevitable that all women are hypergamous, and that as soon as they find someone that's better than you, they're all gonna leave you. And that's that doom and gloom shit. And unfortunately, a lot of gullible, naive, insecure guys, they buy into that. But I'm gonna tell you, hypergamy does not exist in my world. Why men with game don't worry about hypergamy. So let's just read the definition, and then we're gonna get into this little slideshow I got for y'all. Right? Let's read the definition. Hypergamy refers to the act or practice of marrying or forming a relationship with someone of a higher social class status, higher social class or higher social status rather, wealth or education level. It's often associated with women seeking partners perceived as having a higher socioeconomic standing, though the concept can apply to both genders, meaning hypergamy or the concept of hypergamy is not gender specific. It can apply to both men and women, right? And what I want to bestow upon you, young men, is that hypergamy is a social construct. It's a social construct. The problem with social constructs, just like marriage is a social construct, the problem with social constructs is in order for a social construct to really be sold to society, people have to buy into it, right? They have to buy into it. The problem with that is human nature gets in the way every time. Human nature, listen to what I'm telling you. Human nature gets in the way. When guys talk about the hypergamous nature of women, they never consider human nature. They never consider biology. They never consider a woman actually being in love with a man. And they don't consider that because they've never had a woman be in love with them. If you've actually had a woman fall head over heels in love with you, and she actually had better financial options, but she still chose you, you would never talk about hypergamy because it doesn't exist in your world, right? Now, when we talk about hypergamy, it literally means to marry above, right? Hold on, it means to marry above, right? So when you talk about, hyper above, gamos is marriage, right? So hyper, that means above. The mere fact that a woman would submit to a man whom she respects and admires, she feels like that man is above her. Not above her like on some, he's a man, I'm a woman, I'm below him. Not like that, right? When I say below, meaning she acknowledges that man as the leader in the home. Okay, that's what I mean by that. She's following her leader, right? She's not beneath the man, right? A woman can be on the side. A woman can be next to you, but a woman can never be in front of you. She can be next to you, but never in front. So when we talk about, the human nature of things, right? When we talk about a woman submitting to a man, women are going to submit to a man that they respect. The amount of money you make does not automatically equate to women respecting you. So that and this notion that women are automatically going to jump ship for a man with more money, no, bro, it's not that simple. And guys are painting women in this simplistic picture like women just jump ship for money. No, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it doesn't happen quite like that. There are so many other factors that must be considered. You have to consider it, right? Now, real quick, I'm going to read some shit to you and we're going to get into the slideshow. What are we talking about today? Why men with game don't worry about hypergamy, right? I'm going to read this to you, right? Because you're seeing this picture of this lovely young lady, right? But let me read to you what you're about to see, right? And you're going to see that hypergamy only exists in the minds of guys who have no game, they have no sex appeal, and they've never had women fall head over heels in love with them. Because if they would have, then they wouldn't even think about hypergamy. Also, they've never been a side dude. Listen to what I'm telling you. When you've been a side dude, or you've actually been in relationships with women who made more money than you, there is no hypergamy, right? I'm going to read something to you. The number of women prison officers fired for having inappropriate relationships with male inmates has trebled in recent years. Figures show that 40 female wardens, they're talking about guards, prison guards, have been fired in the past 4 years after it was found that they were having behind bar flings with imprisoned criminals. Okay, 40 in 4 years. That's almost one a month. One a month. Every month a chick is being fired for having sex with a guy who was locked down, right? 29 in 3 years. 18 from the same prison. Guys, 18 women from the same prison were fired for having sex with male inmates, right? Now, over the same period of time, there was just one case where a male officer was fired for having an affair with a woman inmate. Do y'all want to know why that is? Y'all want to know why that is? It's called sex appeal or sexual attraction. That's why that is. These women, now there's more factors than just the sexual component, but the sex is a big factor. It's a big factor, right? Y'all don't think it's a sexual fantasy for some of these women to have sex behind bars? Like they're literally at work having sex in jail cells. And these motherfuckers on the internet are talking about hypergamy. You're a fucking loser. You're talking about hypergamy and women are getting fired from their job for having sex with unemployed criminals who don't have no car, no jewelry, none of that shit you free motherfuckers have. These guys in prison are getting more pussy than motherfuckers that are free. There are women who are married and who are in relationships who are having sex with prisoners. And you're talking about hypergamy? Right? So let's go ahead and get into this. Let me snatch this up. So I'm going to read this to you. So the first up, we have the lovely Katie Evans. She is 26 years old, right? Was locked up after admitting to an intimate relationship with inmate Daniel Brownlee at HMP Doncaster. All right, so who do we got next up? Oh, look at this. Oh, wait a minute. So you telling me that these women can't get men who are free that make good money? They can't get men who are free, who've never been locked up, the quote-unquote good man of the world, the quote-unquote high-value men that you goofy motherfuckers like to talk about. They can't get guys who make good money, right? No, the hypergamous nature of women, I mean, they are hypergamous. Shouldn't she, if she works at a jail or a prison, shouldn't she be trying to date the warden who probably makes 6 figures? The warden makes all the money. Why is she dating the broke inmates? She's dating down, right? But she's hypergamous, right? Women are hypergamous, right? Right? So let's go on, right? So the mother of one, she risked her job and her ability to take care of her child because that inmate dick was so irresistible. But yet she's hypergamous, right? She's from Hatfield, South Yorkshire. That's where she hails from. Boasted to an ex-prison officer that she performed a sex act on the con. Ooh, just hypergamous, right? Right. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, hold on, let's back up. Make sure we ain't going too fast. All right, let's slow down. Right there. Wait a minute. Linda De Sosa Abreu, who turned 31 in December, was given a 15-month jail term, right? Having previously admitted misconduct after an X-rated clip in a jail cell at Wandsworth Prison went viral on social media. Wait a minute. She won't let you film her, but she's in a jail cell making a fucking porn video with a convict? Look at this chick. You telling me she can't get men with money? But women are hypergamous, right? White men with game don't worry about hypergamy. Let me tell y'all something. Sexual attraction trumps everything. There is no other way, there is no other form of attraction that's more potent than sexual attraction. No amount of money in the world, status, clout, none of that shit trumps sexual attraction. None of it does. Period. So let's move on. Prison guard Rachel Stanton admitted to willful misconduct in public office after she entered a relationship with an armed robber. I mean, he did rob some shit, so maybe he got some money. Maybe she was being hypergamous, and you know, look at this chick. Look, you will look at this chick, and she look like she can date men who make money, but she's fucking with a nigga who robbed banks. Hypergamy where? Guys, when women are sexually attracted to you, there is no such thing as hypergamy. It's a myth, right? Look at this chick. Now, she ain't too cute, but it don't matter, right? Tina Cole was sentenced to 1 year in prison after pleading guilty to misconduct in a public office. Man, look at all these chicks. All right. HMP Wandsworth officer caught having sex with inmates breaks silence. This chick right here was talking about how she got fired for having sex with an inmate. She looked like she can pull some dudes that got a little bit of cheese. Hypergamy where? Hold on. Okay, this is the Sousa again, right? What? See, you see all these chicks? They're from the same prison. HMP Wandsworth. These chicks are from the same jail. Right here. This X-rated clip shows the Sousa, the chick, in uniform and performing a sex act on Rydrick, who has a pregnant girlfriend. This guy is in jail with a whole girlfriend. This woman is cheating with him. She a side chick. She's a prison officer side chick. See us, bro, hypergamy where? This nigga in jail, he got a whole girlfriend who is free, and he got a side chick that worked there. Hypergamy where? Right? Prison guard filmed having sex with inmate parties on swinger series. Bro! Oh yeah, let's go ahead and get out of this. Let's go ahead and get out of this. Hold on, y'all. Let me see something. So let's go ahead and get out of this, y'all. All right, we out of this. Okay, let me close this down. All right, let me bring this back up right here. Hold on, y'all. Let me see something right quick. All right. So what are we talking about, guys? Men with game don't worry about hypergamy. Guys, I'm going to hit y'all with 3 factors that you need to consider, right? Hypergamy is largely considered a social construct rather than a biological imperative, right? That's important. Hypergamy is largely considered a social construct rather than a biological imperative. Remember the word biological. Remember that word. It's important, right? The concept of hypergamy is not a universal or inevitable outcome of human relationships. Why? Because human nature kicks in. Things like feelings, emotions, connections, right? You can throw love in there and all of that. That's part of emotions and feelings. Also, sexual attraction. Human nature kicks in. And women are not as worried about money as guys think they are because they make their own money. They make their own money. Guys, this hypergamous shit, it's not as widespread as you think it is. This is really internet shit, right? Now, here's another factor I want you to consider. When you talk about sexual attraction, what is sexual attraction? Remember the word biological. that hypergamy is not a biological imperative. But you know what is? Sex is. Procreation is. Right? A woman's desire to want to have sex. These are biological imperatives. You do not have to have money for women to want to have sex with you. You do not have to have a lot of money for a woman to want to be with you in a long-term relationship. You don't. You don't. There are other factors that women consider beyond money. I'm not saying that financial security is not important to women, but there are other factors that women consider that are way more important. Why? Because women got money. Most women, all they really want is a guy who can take care of himself where they ain't got to pay his bills. Women will tell you that. I just want a guy where he got his money, I got my money, and I don't have to take care of shit. I just take care of myself. He take care of himself. We do things together. Most women, they just want that. A guy who actually gives a fuck about them. But when you actually hate women or you don't like women, you believe women are just like these robots, like, and it's all about money, 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 money. No, bro. No, that's not true. Now, sexual attraction, and I've said this about sexual attraction, is a complex experience influenced by biological, there go that word again, psychological, and social factors. All of these situations where these chicks are getting fired, they're sexually attracted to these men. And money is not a factor. Money does not factor into it. Why? Because their sexual attraction or their sexual desire for these men are so strong that the human nature kicks in. The biological imperative of how women choose to deal with men kicks in. And that's sexual. You can't get around that. Why men with game don't worry about hypergamy. And let me just end it with this. When you've been the side dude of a chick who wants to leave her man and you're not spending no money and you cannot offer her a better financial lifestyle than he can, but she wants to leave her situation for you, and all you're doing is fucking her, you're not taking her out, you're not spending no money on her at all, but she wants to leave a man that's taking care of her for you, hypergamy where? Right? Next thing, women prioritizing you over men who make more money. Bro, I've dealt with chicks who dated men or who were seeing men at the same time they were seeing me. These guys, in some cases, they made twice as much money as I did. In other cases, they had college degrees, bachelor's, MBAs, and I didn't have none of that. And women were still choosing me over these guys. Bro, I had a chick, peep game. I had a chick. I'm gonna break this down. Why men with game don't worry about hypergamy? I had this woman. She was 28 years old. 28. At the time, I was 39. I was 39. I was a divorced father of 4 at 39 years old. Hey, listen to what I'm telling you. I was a divorced father of 4 at 39 years old. I met this young lady. She was 28. She'd never been married. She never had any kids. She had a bachelor's degree and a master's degree or MBA in finance. Right? One of the guys she was dating not only made twice as much as I did, he had a degree, I didn't. Not only that, but that guy was more of her physical type. But yet, she left that guy alone for me. Now, on paper, he would have been more of the logical choice. He's more of your physical type. He has a degree. He makes great money. He's never been married. He doesn't have any kids. And you fucking with a 39-year-old man, 11 years your senior, married and divorced with 4 kids, but you choosing me over that nigga. Right? Again, women prioritize you over guys with better financial situations. Bro, what are we talking about? Why men with game don't worry about hypergamy? Let me just say this. I've been in 3 relationships. 3. And I was married to 2 of them. I've been in 3 relationships. And I was married to 2 of them where chicks made more money than me. One of the women made twice as much as me. Twice as much. Hypergamy where? And let me just say this. A woman has never left me for no fucking man. Ever. Not one fucking time. In fact, I'm not even sure I've ever been cheated on. And I'm not saying I haven't. I just don't know if I have. Hypergamy where? Why men with game don't worry about hypergamy? Hypergamy only exists in a world of men who have no game, who have no sex appeal, and you're not the kind of guy that women fall in love with. When you're the kind of guy women fall in love with, you know better than to think about some fucking hypergamy because you are already at the top when it comes to her. In her mind, you are the top guy. Hypergamy. Nigga, please. I'm out. Peace.